the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
For Sayebe Kaya and Che and a special prosecutor, a Kisi Ejabin at the press conference be a share so. Na in fact, Okika and Nsem-Pii and Nsem-Pii at the FR, a former finance minister, Ken Ofori Atta, a strategic mobilization limited, major SML for a na NSC aye kasaya as it stands now. Press conference be a koso aye beko akwakutie bi. Na press conference no eye strategic mobilization limited omo legal team no na eye sa press conference no led by Sifas Boyu ono ana oye SML for no a lawyer. Na ene ensem a wo kan say eye special prosecutor eye Kisi Ajabin epese ofa kwan bia so na o say eye SML company no reputations. Na ensem a wo san e kan say eye Kisi Ajabin on jai say or person turning itself to be a judge no na sa or evidence about any allegations I know ya on fa court direct na some almost I can say office of the special prosecutor Mr. Kisi Ajabin kasa himself I can say SML for no am providing any service to the Ghana Revenue Authority almost a statement no a false a ntro na a special prosecutor Kisi Ajabin can na onsan nya sa nsem na okeka no kire abonten anase okambu monten e wa bra wontimi prosecute obia no special prosecutor wadwuma no say anka corruption any corruption related issues anka wo mo handle na mo de wo pese wo ye ho say wo ye judge in fact ene lawyers yi akasa yentie omo press conference na wonom no.
We provided documentary evidence to each and every paragraph and elaborated on the true and accurate picture of the GRA Ministry of Finance SML contract. We are confident that a review of the documents presented to the President and the AG would help them appreciate the matters and form a fair and independent opinion on the termination directive. Our goal today with you, the press, is not rhetoric, but also to provide clarity and evidence. Please note that we are here to provide you with evidence. Given the extreme, deliberate misinformation in the guise of investigation, and then also distortion and political coloration by the OSP, or the facts concerning SML's operations, ownership, and institutional collaborations. We also seek to set the record straight based on official documentation from the Ghana Revenue Authority, the National Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Ministry of Finance itself, and other statutory institutions. Now, you see, the OSP is a fact-finding institution. Its mandate, we all know, is to investigate alleged corruption and corruption-related matters, and to present its findings and evidence before a court of competent jurisdiction for adjudication. That's simply what it is. So, you cannot turn yourself into a judge. And that's exactly what OSP has done. And within its remit, it has sought to denounce individuals and, made it look like wrongdoing has happened even before it heads to court. That is what we are seeking to correct. We are here to respond directly to the OSP. As for what we are saying to the presidency, we expect that the presidency will take their time, look at the evidence that we have provided, and take a second look at the termination directive. Well, as for our clients, the SML, well, if government chooses to terminate, all we'll just do is, our investment overlay is what government will have to pay us. Okay? If somebody wants their job, the person can go ahead and take the job. But then they shouldn't seek to tarnish the image of SML in the quest of taking that job. That is what we are definitely not going to allow. So, in direct response to the OSP, please, we are here to respond directly to relevant portions. All the other things that he said that we deem not relevant, we will not respond to them. Now, in the OSP's press release, and their press actually, it was filled with insinuations, speculative remarks, innuendos, assumptions, and veiled accusations, rather than presenting clear facts and evidence to the Ghanaian people. Now, the relevant aspect of the OSP's report that merits a response is one, the SML was incorporated under a patronage model, even though it did not have previous experience in that area. Two, that the former finance minister, Mr. Ofori Atta, allegedly cooked the deal for SML. Three, that SML did not provide any service or services to GRA that would justify the payment it received. Four, that SML operated in isolation and without institutional coordination. That number five, SML's role became redundant after the introduction of ICOMS. And lastly, that the contract between SML and the government of Ghana required parliamentary approval. We deem that all the plenty talk he did last week, these are the only relevant things that we will respond to. Now, I'll just give you a bit of the background to SML. Now, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited is a wholly Ghanaian company dedicated to supporting the state in improving transparency, accuracy, and accountability in public revenue administration. SML has from its inception operated under full regulatory visibility, technical validation, and ministerial oversight. We shall demonstrate to you that our client and its operations have been lawful, technically sound, and nationally beneficial, and that the claims of impropriety or underperformance are inconsistent with the verified evidence provided by state agencies themselves. Now, the incorporation matters. Now, the OSP's assertion that Mr. Evans Edusei, the founder of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, was a proxy used for political patronage or illicit enrichment lacks factual and evidentiary foundation. The claim ignores verifiable documentation and business records demonstrating that Mr. Edusei is an independent and a long-established Ghanaian entrepreneur with a proven track record across multiple industries. Now, contrary to the OSP's insinuations, the establishment of SML in 2017 was a natural diversification step by the businessman with decades of experience in logistics, trade, and industrial systems. His credibility, capital base, and operational history backed by existing entities such as Evans Timbers Limited and Evertex Logistics Limited predates his engagement in technology-driven revenue assurance space. This is somebody who has been doing so well. He's a self-made person way before, the formation of SML. Mr. Edusei began his entrepreneurial career as a bulk importer of used clothes from Europe and the United States between 1988. You see, you are shocked. 1988. You see, you are shocked. And 2002. He later transitioned into timber processing and afforestation from 1995 to date. From 1995 to date, Mr. Evans Timbers is a free zones registered enterprise engaged in timber processing and export of finished woods products to Europe, Canada, USA, and Asia. His company, Evans Timbers, not only processes, it doesn't just process, but also finishes and exports its own products, reflecting vertical integration and industrial compliance. As a pioneer in afforestation, Mr. Edusei is documented among the few large-scale private contributors to forest regeneration programs. You can check it. You can fact-check what I'm saying right now. That Edusei owns perhaps the biggest teak plantation in Ghana. In 2003, Mr. Edusei established Evertex Logistics Company Limited. It's a company specializing in mining support services, heavy equipment supply, and stockpiling operations. The company supplied major multinational firms such as WBHO, South Africa, Newmont Ghana Limited, Goldfields Ghana Limited, and Anglo Gold Ashanti, demonstrating its established industrial and logistical footprints long before SML creation. You see somebody like this was used as political patronage. It's sad. We don't do this to ourselves. You know? There is no evidence of political sponsorship, procurement influence, or financial impropriety linked to Mr. Edusei. You can check. If anybody has anything like that, let us know. His business profile, long-standing commercial reputation, and proven competence is regulated in regulated sectors refute any notion of political fronting. Mr. Edusei is a self-made industrialist whose integrity, business independence, and professional legacy render the OSP's claim unsubstantiated and contrary to the factual record. Now, how did he form SML in the first place? Now, the need for SML's contribution in revenue assurance was necessitated by Mr. Edusei's reading of the Auditor General's report between 2012 and 2016. So if somebody says that there is no need, please just refer the person to the Auditor General's report from 2012 to 2016. The need assessment were done there. The need for the service that Mr. Edusei rendered the country is in there. And all these reports were laid in Parliament. You can fact check that. Of course, we all know that all these reports annually goes to Parliament. Check them out and see whether the need wasn't there. The reports documented extensive control failures within the GRA Customs Division, missing declarations, undervaluations, forged exemptions, and unenforced bonds, costing the state over 1.67 billion in revenue losses. Given Mr. Edusei's credentials as enumerated, it is clear that this is not someone who could easily be used by Mr. Ofori to establish SML in the manner alleged by the OSP. And therefore, SML's establishment was there. It is a policy-driven corrective measure by Mr. Edusei. Now, I would like to go straight to the allegation by the OSP that SML did not provide any service, yet was paid so much money. He said, this allegation has whipped up some sort of sentiments, as though Mr. Edusei just sat at home, he's crossed his legs, sipping on tea, he's not doing any work for government and just collecting money. And the company was just used to siphon money from government. That is not true, and we are going to show you documentary evidence. and I'll borrow some Nsem-Pii's words, that, this is, the presentation is, we are showing you evidence, Now, the allegation, OSP alleged that SML did not provide any service to GRA, yet was paid huge sums of money. This can be verified by official correspondence from the Ghana Revenue Authority itself. You see, we don't need to do this to our institutions. One person cannot sit in Ghana Revenue Authority and do out money and give it to somebody. No, it can never happen. It goes through a lot of processes. When you send reports, they will definitely they will verify, they will validate, they would, certify. And know that before you are paid. It doesn't, when you throw it in there like that, they didn't do anything. SML didn't do anything, they're just being paid money. The ordinary Ghanaian sitting there, of course, will be angry. And no, you see, we don't fault the journalists. Sometimes, journalists, you do your investigation, you may not have the capacity to find certain information. Okay, but when an investigative body like the OSP makes such assertion, then that is serious. That is serious. Now, I'd like to refer you to two key correspondents. Can I have the Ghana Revenue Public Affairs Statement on the 20th December 2023, please? Please. I want you to give it to them, give it to all the journalists. I want Ghanaians to see what is in the document. I want Ghanaians to see it. And when somebody comes to stand there and then say all kinds of things without, throw all, kind of dust into the air, it's sad. Read for yourselves. Have independent mind. Look at that report, that letter. Also, I told you I'm going to give you documents. Please give me the 14th October 2025 letter, which confirms the position that SML actually worked. This is letter from GRA themselves. Official documents. Official documentation. Please give it to all the journalists. This is as recent as 14th of October. And this is a letter that immediately OSP saw, quickly went and arrested the lawyer that signed it. Look at that lawyer. Do you know how many years he is at the bar? You think he will just write anything like that? And you think the lawyer will just write something without fact-checking or even asking questions from the powers that be within the GRA setup? Why are we doing this to our institutions? So please, we are giving you all these documents. Then you see that it's clearly stated in there that SML worked, and their contract, all the performance that they presented, the performance reports that they presented were validated, were verified, and they were paid. Moreover, SML's audit report detected under declarations, misclassifications, and bonded warehouse leakages, leading to official post-entry adjustment and recovery actions by the GRA. Please, can I have the Auditor General's report? I mean, if you claim that, SML has, let me just put it mildly, that SML has bought everybody as GRA. I mean, quote and unquote. How about the Auditor General? How about the Auditor General? Look at the letter. Auditor General's report dated the 5th of November 2020. This is and you conduct investigations and you leave out critical information like this because it will not go in a favor. Because it will go in the favor of SML. Please, we are providing you all these documents. Have an independent assessment of them and tell for yourself whether SML worked or not, and whether the payments given to SML are justifiable or not. In summary, the GRA and not SML retains the cost. They are the custodians of the verified evidence of performance And their letters affirm that SML delivered value, compliance, and measurable fiscal impact. The person benefiting from the services of SML is telling you that yes, I've benefited. Then you say no, SML has not done anything. Please read the reports for yourselves. Read the letters for yourselves. And tell the Ghanaian people whether SML has worked or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSP's claim that petroleum revenue gains since 2020 resulted from natural consumption increases is a fundamental misrepresentation. Before SML, Ghana lost 3.2 billion liters to leakages and under declarations within just 16 months for petrol, diesel, and LPG. When SML was deployed in May 2020, the gap reduced to 260 million liters. And guess what? And this was sustained for over 4.5 years. Data from NPA, and believe me, and look at this, it's not just NPO. The Bank of Ghana confirms this assertion. The Bank of Ghana, and somebody says nothing was done. Really? I mean, why are we doing this to our state institutions? This very same state institution is telling you that no, the people have worked.